The venture capital industry and the innovation economy at large have mostly existed outside of the strongest regulatory frameworks that have governed the economy for generations. And in many ways, we in this economy kind of like it that way. The question is, in the wake of things like the FTX explosion and Silicon Valley banks, and is it realistic for us to think about keeping it that way? And what would be the things that we would need to do as an industry to ensure that we were behaving responsibly enough and partnering with regulation well enough to avoid governance and regulation becoming so necessary that it comes down from on top? I would put forward 4 C's that might help us achieve that goal. The first one is, as venture capitalists, achieving conviction. And I mean that in a deep sense. When we're leading rounds, we should be doing it from the point of good underwriting, and we should be achieving a point of conviction where we are leading those rounds from great research and great faith in these founders, and then helping them close the round and helping them get to the next round, and in fact, helping them create a great and sustainable company that is worth building. It's the last thing we should be doing, to rely on the fear of missing out, on following each other into deals, on doing very quick slipshod research, and relying on the distribution of outcomes that is exemplified by the power law, which I've long been skeptical about anyway, to achieve the kind of action that we would need as venture capitalists to create a high conviction and really credible market for venture capital and for the innovation economy. The second C is compliance. Now, this is the least sexy thing we could possibly be talking about as VCs. In the column inches that are devoted to the innovation world, compliance and regulation are not really high on the list of topics. But there are rules, and they're there for a reason, and a very small handful of managers really think about this. We have a very strong fiduciary responsibility. And in fact, we have 2 powerful weapons as venture capitalists vis-a-vis the startups that we back. The first is good underwriting and good research going in. This helps us identify companies that might not be doing exactly what they say they're doing, and that might be cruising for problems in the future. But that's not the only thing we can do. We could also build good governance into those companies going forward. Oftentimes these days, the board seat, for example, that comes with leading around is regarded as kind of like an honorific thing that can be handed to somebody on the team, that's a cool experience and something that helps them build a resume. It's not. It's the farthest thing from that. It's a really serious matter to sit on the board of a startup. And so pairing good underwriting and good governance are really the 2 best things we can do as VCs to achieve compliance and to achieve, indeed, a safer set of investments. The third C is confidence, and frankly, building confidence with all the different stakeholders in our environment. Trust and trustworthiness are really important. They're important at all times, but they're particularly important in times of financial instability and uncertainty like the ones we're in now. So for example, if you think your portfolio might warrant a write-down, take the write-down. Many of our colleagues are doing this now. Our fund certainly has done our fair share of it. And you have to build that confidence through transparency and trustworthiness. Otherwise, the entire industry loses credibility, and we are all the lesser for it. The last of the C's is maybe the least popular, which is consequences. And this goes to some of our other stakeholders to hold us as venture capitalists responsible for good performance. So it goes to the limited partners, to our investors. It goes to the regulators, and it goes to the very entrepreneurs that we wish to back, to hold us responsible for living up to conviction, compliance, and building confidence. Because if we can do that, we'll be a stronger economy. There is a danger in the VC world, which is our funds last for 10 years. That's usually one, if not the beginning of a second economic cycle. And so we can be wrong for a long time and no one really notices. But the data is there. And if our LPs, our regulators, and our entrepreneurs are holding us responsible to a higher standard, then indeed we can build a stronger innovation environment. We will not need top-down regulation to come in, and we can hold ourselves to a higher standard.